So here's my little shameless plug. See the line where the flies stop? That's because of this. Isn't that right, darling? Yeah, girl. So we've tried literally every device. The wicks, the wipes, the tubs, all of the above. Lewis cattle oilers. Some people love them. We have not had good luck with them. We honestly haven't. We tried. I have 3 of them. 2 that we put a pile of money into them, and we ended up, oh, there's a neighbor going. We ended up having to replace the big wicks. Like every 2 years, they would just rot out. And what am I getting at? These Bauman cattle oilers. They are the best for bang for your buck on the market that you can get. There's literally no moving parts. You have a spring from like a car. That's the only moving part. So you have a tank. It has gravity fed down through a spigot to the pipe, and then in the brush you have the wick, and inside the wick at the end of the pipe there's a little nozzle, and basically all it is when they rub it, the nozzle opens up the hose and lets the hose soak the wick. So the more they use it, the wetter that gets. And as they fill it up with hair, it actually works better because the hair then acts like a double wick. I just like pulling the hair out right now because we're at the end of spring. As you can see from the big girl here, she's starting to lose her winter hair. They're all starting to get to that point. So she's been at it. She just come up and started using it. And you can see her spine, no flies. There's flies here, but as they rub on it, see how the flies stop? There's a line. Yeah. So there's a bunch of them have already been at it because I put this one up last night. There's a bunch of them have already been at it. Right good and royally rubbing on it. Now this is the calf that almost died, that was laying here in the pile, that was dying. Now look at her. She was at it right good and proper last night. There's hardly a fly on her. So, segue back into the yard. Now, earlier and through the winter, you all saw me rebuilding that one. So yeah, the vertical brush is brand new. The horizontal wick brush is the original. That's 5 years, I think I said in the video. So yeah, that whole unit is five and a bit years old. The hoses are still good as far as I can tell. There's no leaks on it. It's still somewhere temporary right now because I didn't want it on the pole with the camera. So there's that. And this one. These two, the last one I just showed you that we put the new brush on, and this one are the original 2 that we bought. So this one here, for some reason, this is the only thing that I would say to, as you can see, it's older. The only thing I would say to the company, something to do with this. Maybe when they're putting them together to weld a nub onto the pipe to stop the screw, the spring from coming round, because it seems to do this a fair bit. Like you can see I've undone these, knocked it back around. Besides this, maybe there's no animals in here in the fall, I'll take these out and I'll weld the piece on myself. There you can see the nib. See? So you pop it and the chemical starts coming out. Now I think this one's getting low. Yeah, it's dry. So like I said, That's all it is. It's a piece of material bolted in there with the nib. That's what's different between it and these ones. These are $40 a piece. But like I said, you get 4 years out of them and they get abused. So yeah, like I said, that's the other original one. Now for the other new one. So here is the one I just installed. Just turned it off because I turned it up to get this apron right good and soaked. So it is absolutely soaked now. So yeah, you put like a 5-gallon pail of diesel in there, and then you put, I think it's like half a cup. I don't even know if it's half a cup. You put a wee drip of malathion in there, or whatever stuff you can get. And that's it. So I have this one set for the heifers for the second, well, their first calvers right now. The bull, he's not going to be happy with this, but he can lift this and push it. And he will. So the only recommendation on this one, I would say to the company, Bauman cattle oilers, is maybe put a second hole in here. Because I've had to do this with both of these to fit on a 6-inch post. It's not a big job to drill them out though. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of adjustments. So this can raise and lower. Once we clean these out, I will drop these down a couple notches. Because there's a couple of feet of bedding here, bed pack, for when the new season comes around. But there's going to be a project coming up here right away. I'll kind of give you the Reader's Digest. Hey Scully! I'll give you the Reader's Digest version of it. So, I'm building a skid that will go out to the pasture with the big herd. And it will be fairly wide, fairly long. It'll have a piece in the center for a whole bunch of those mineral tubs, like there. So there'll be the garlic tubs, the elite breeder, and then some salt blocks. And then around the outside of the skid, what we'll do is, once these animals, most of these animals will be out, you just unbolt these and then they'll bolt to the skid around the outside. So there'll be a couple cow high, and then there'll be probably one lower down for the babies to get at. And then there'll be a roof on it. That way that they can get in out of the sun. Plus there'll be a part where they can get to the diatomaceous earth for the calves, because it's working wonders. It absolutely is. So, like I said, I am not being paid by this company. I sure wouldn't turn them down if they wanted to work with me, because I do plan on buying more. They're normally retail for just under $450 Canadian. But I bought the last two on sale, and sale price is $350. You try and make that for $350. Yeah. So, like I said, I haven't put hardly any money into these machines, the older ones, versus the cattle oilers, the Lewis ones. We were replacing parts, pumps, chains, rods. That's right. These, just put them up and forget about them. Go back and fill them up once in a while. So, like I said, if you're all looking for a good cattle oiler that you can depend on, and you're not gonna have to worry about them, get yourself these.